happy Wednesday, happy Valentine's Day Eve. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day, and I thought that I would kind of pop on here and show some love to the people who are about to take their Nasm exam or exams, or if y'all are just interested in what Nasm has to offer and everything like that. I just wanted to show you some love. I am a certified personal trainer as of yesterday at 10 a.m. and I thought that it was super beneficial for me to come on here and make my own video because I did rely heavily on other YouTube videos and other tips and tricks that other videos gave me. So I definitely want to give you guys kind of a time frame. So after researching the different online schools that you can purchase courses from and who would sponsor you to take your exams, I ended up going with Nasm. And I purchased the self-study premium package October of 2018. I ended up getting this book, which I'll talk about in a second, probably later in October. So I didn't start studying until September, but from the time that I started studying in September to yesterday, it was a little less than 4.5 months between the time that I started studying and that I walked into the testing center to take my exam. So I definitely dragged it out a little longer. Some people can study in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. My thing was that I was just going to do personal training on the side until I could make it sustainable enough to be able to have a full-time position in the fitness industry. But at the time, whenever I signed up for Nasm, I didn't have to really rush my studying, so I was okay with making it last a little longer. Now, Nasm does give you a year to study and take your exam, and I didn't want to wait that long, so 4 months was enough time. They provided me with this book, and honestly, there are some golden nuggets in here. I know that I will utilize this in the field and just being a personal trainer. I think that there is tons of good knowledge to take from this book. So I highly suggest reading this book. Honestly, I tried to read it all and I got to chapter 6 and then I was like, this is all gibberish to me and this is not how I learn, and how I learn is totally different than just opening up a book and reading words and just retaining it and learning. So if you learn by just opening a book and you can retain all the information, this is gonna be your Bible. But if you're like me and you need something that's a little bit more condensed, a little bit more straightforward, you don't need all the fluff, you just need to focus on the major key points, then this will be your Bible. And this is what I held on to for majority of the time that I was studying. This is the study guide. And like I said, it's a very condensed version of the book. It has 6 different domains, which are also on the Nasm website. Whenever you sign up for your package, you'll get a login and a password, and then all of your modules and all of your practice quizzes and stuff will be online. This is online, and basically this helped me a whole bunch. I would definitely say to know this like the back of your hand. I read through this quite often, and honestly, I would read a little bit and then go take a few practice tests on it until I got 100% multiple times, and then I would move on to the next section of my study guide. And I did that for about 2 months. I got to a point where I was taking practice tests a minimum of 5 times a day because failing this test was not an option. And that's when I turned to YouTube and really wanted to figure out what I was supposed to be studying and, you know, what I should really focus my time on. And a lot of the videos said, obviously, the overhead squat assessment and the OPT model, the vocabulary and the flexibility. And so I did all of that, but I am so glad that I just didn't memorize the answers or just memorize the study guide, and I actually took the time to learn it, because not only am I going to use this in my everyday personal training career, but you also have to be able to understand the information, because when I went to go take my test was nothing like the other videos that I've seen. To be quite honest with you, I spent a lot of time studying the overhead squat assessment and figuring out what the underactive and overactive muscles are. And there was probably, I could probably count on one hand how many times the test asked me something about the overhead squat assessment. So I'm so glad that I just didn't rely on what other people's experiences was, because if I did, I would have totally bombed the test. Something that I found that was super helpful is writing down the things that are definitely important to you. Online, they are going to have videos of instructors that are kind of breaking down the book. I highly suggest you watch those and then take notes on things that they kind of emphasize, because if they emphasize it, it probably might be on a test. It's definitely going to be on a practice quiz. So do that. And then at one point I was taking quizzes, and the quizzes that I was getting wrong, or the questions that I was kind of iffy about, I would write down, but then it just became a tedious process. I wrote down as many questions as I could that I thought I needed help with, but then I ended up going on to Quizlet and creating my own quizzes of the questions that I may be iffy on or maybe got wrong. I created my flashcards on Quizlet, and quiz yourself over and over until you understand why the answer is the correct answer. So this video, I didn't want it to be, okay, this is what you're going to learn, and this is what you need to learn, and you need to learn the overhead squat assessment, because you do, but honestly, there's multiple tests, there's multiple exams. So I can't, you know, I think I'd be doing you a disservice if I told you to only focus on 4 or 5 different aspects of the book, because you're probably going to be asked all kinds of questions throughout the whole book, and I would hate for anybody to study only specific things from my video. And I mean, there are some tricky questions, so I suggest reading thoroughly. Don't let your eyes get tired. 120 questions can get tedious towards the end, and your eyes may get tired, but just make sure that you're reading the questions completely. Don't get tricked. Really understand your information. And whenever I first signed up for the course, I purchased the Nasm CPT app, and it has 1,500 questions that you can answer. If you're kind of on the go, you can just pop up this app and kind of quiz yourself. I didn't use it too much, and I honestly, because the packages can get so expensive, I wouldn't spend any more money than needed. But I'm not gonna say that I didn't ever use it, because if I was just laying in bed, I would just open the app and quiz myself a little bit. Some of the questions on the app are a lot harder than any of the quiz questions online or on the exam. I don't know how helpful it would be to you, but this is the app with the R on it. I definitely watched videos of the heart. I would say that you need to learn the heart just because you need to take a CPR class as well and pass that course to be able to take your exam. You definitely need an updated and valid ID to get in. If your CPR class gives you a card, like an actual printed card saying that you passed your CPR and AED course, then you're in the clear. The course that I took, they sent the card electronically, and it was a little hard for me to pull up, and I almost was scared that I wasn't going to be able to take my exam yesterday. So if you get it online, hopefully you won't have any issues with it. You can't take the course online, but once you pass the course in person, they may send you your CPR card via email. That's what happened to me. I'm trying to think. Always ask any questions in the comment section below. I hope that this was super helpful. I honestly say just study this guide. This is your Bible, or if you learn better from the book, this is your Bible. Seriously, take as many practice tests as you can. Don't just memorize, because there are going to be questions that you've never seen before, and if you don't know the material, you know, you don't know if you're going to get it right because you didn't memorize those answers. So once you pass your test, your sheet will look just like this, and it'll say pass and it's such a great feeling to have. You may get a little emotional just because it's just awesome to finally work towards something that, you know, you never really imagined that you would be able to have, and I'm just super excited to start doing what I love. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you did, I hope that this is super helpful. Just don't waste your time on little tedious, you know, things if you don't have to. Definitely try and do the exercises and the exercise examples. Try to do them yourself so you know exactly what they're talking about. Try and do the fitness assessments, do it on people that you know. There are some YouTube videos that help me out a whole bunch. I'm gonna insert them in the description box below, and one is gonna go over the heart. I'll also insert a little game that you can learn the muscles on online, and it's super, super fun actually. So I highly suggest doing that if you're iffy on where your muscles are. I wish you all the best of luck, and congratulations to anybody that has passed their exam, and we are absolutely going to kill it. Thanks guys, I'll see you later.
Before I'm too invested, I should probably ask you all my questions, get to know you better.